Star.
Yeah, y'all already know. Seven the pan. That dude Biz on the beat. Yeah. We live in entertainment. Sound chamber. Crown the kings, homie. This is where it get ill. About to have the tip off live as a tip drill. From the court to the diamond, to the track, to the big skin, flying round the field, starting five forever, keeping it real. If it matters in the world of sports, jeans and long sleeves, they taking no shorts. Hot the tempo, yes, these other sports podcasts live as a pros corpse. Biz market wave, the starting five goes off. No matter who you cheer for, emotions out the window, they analyzing with clear thoughts. They take it way deeper than the boys ever. No longer got any use for the four letters. The latest news, score stats and the view from the sideline. Ain't no guideline, it's just the truth. Yeah, no need to dig for a pardon line. It's always in season if people starting five. We going in on three, run the baseline, starting five. Get it, we got what you need. If it's sports news you see, we don't waste time. We talking cause we live it. We got what you need. We going in on three, run the baseline, starting five. Get it, we got what you need. And y'all know me, seven sign, I'm the illest cat spit. I got what you need.
Each and every week, we tell y'all we got what y'all need. My boy thought I needed this joint right here. If y'all a cigar smoker, it's either Opus X, but this shit is cracking like a motherfucker. But that's enough of the cigar, yo. It's your boy, the mayor. Peace, that DJ named Ace 5. Your mom's favorite fat guy, all the way from deepest, darkest, well, it's pretty gray kind of Africa today. And we are here to chop it up with some of my favorite TikTokers because they dealt in the world of video games. And before we get to introducing the good brother, the first one that made it, let me say what's up to my peoples. Or should I say konnichiwa? Should I bow? What should I do? How should I greet you?
Konnichiwa, family. Konnichiwa. It's your man JG coming to you live from Tokyo at 2:17 a.m. on Monday morning. Got to go to work in the morning still, but it's all good. Just saying what's up to everybody. Mayor Lord Demetrius, man, appreciate you coming on, brother. Pleasure to meet you. And wait to chop it up with you. Man, Big O, want to give my boy Big O shout out. Happy birthday. Happy belated birthday to the brother.
Yes,
for another trip around the sun. I hope you got you a big ass portion of jerk chicken or something. I
got a big ass bottle of Henny though.
There you go.
Word up. Happy birthday to the brother Big O.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, brothers. There's your boy Big O. 2 years closer to 50. To the big one, I can't wait for that one. But this was good, man. It was cool. It was a quiet day for me, man. Did some yard work or whatever the case is. I'm getting older, so it's not the turn up, every year. And it was a nice day yesterday, so I took advantage of it. I enjoyed myself, man. Spent time with family and all that. So I'm excited. I'm excited for this week's episode because this is my wheelhouse right here. As a matter of fact, I just picked up got the Knights for my birthday, so I'm checking that out as the day goes on. Yeah, so we'll get into it though.
Word. And as we pause, we're gonna get into one of the brothers that right now. Wait for one of the other homies to come on too, as we let TJ back in the building because, of course, the lightest of all light skins on this camera. See, Demetrius, we're gonna introduce you in a second, but you're a shade closer to us than to our brother right here. If he even hears us.
Can hear you now.
Okay.
That was good.
We was light skin shaming just a second ago, but Gen X's
Don't let me spit out my drink, bro.
But I
Don't let
said
me spit out my drink, bro.
we Gen X's don't get as offended as shit like that. You know what I'm saying? What up, TJ?
What up? Sorry about that. I had to change locations. The front of my house for service is pure ass, I'm finding out. So I had to go back to the backside of my house. I was trying to avoid, if it was raining because they got an awning over there. I don't know what the fuck is going on. It's like the Twilight Zone for service in the front of my house. So apologies. But I'm good to go now.
Yeah, we here. But now we can finally say hello to the good brother, Lord Demetrius. I gotta say, I think we found each other on TikTok. I don't remember who followed who first. I probably followed him first because this guy, as I found, his most of his content, if not all of his content, has been geared around the WWE 2K game series. And what this guy does is some incredible shit, if you ask me. And if you're any familiar with like the 2K creator space, a lot of people like to make custom characters.
Mm-hmm.
And as y'all see it on the screen now, as I scroll through, this brother does tons and tons of some of your favorite people out there. Like, I have to show this Kimbo Slice one. The fucking accuracy.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Wow.
The accuracy that this man fucking pulls out on these things. Let's see who else we could pull out. I'm hearing a car. That's my sister. He said, I don't get no respect. Because we're not culturally biased over here, so we give a little bit of love to Rodney Dangerfield.
Rodney.
But this looks like a young ass Rodney Dangerfield, like before we all were thought of as sperm Rodney Dangerfield. The legendary DJ Magic Mike, like this accuracy is ill too.
Mm-hmm.
But no need to show me because the brother just reached out one day, was like, yo, like, I'm gonna make you, and I was like, word? Like on some like, who am I to have been? But it was like 1,000,000% appreciative. He got me pretty damn good. It was when the beard was a little thicker. The only, if there was anything I will say, was the face looked a little Funk Master Flex-ish. But to be honest, though, as a DJ, it didn't matter. And then part two, more importantly, you got our logo right, which was the key to everything. So, number one, welcome to the show. Number two, thanks for for doing that mock-up of me. But three, let the people know who you are.
All right, I'm Lord Demetrius. I create content for 2K22. Like a whole bunch of everybody's name. If you name it, I will create it. My goal personally is just to create whatever comes to my mind, whatever I remember from growing up as a youth, whatever anybody else suggests, and just that. That's the format I'm trying to go with, and I'm trying to bring anybody I can in my mind. And the reason why I brought you is because I saw you were out here grinding, making a podcast, and you followed me, and I saw some of your content, and I said, man, that guy is awesome. So let me try to make him on the game. So I developed that, and I tried to make you on the game. I didn't have great pictures of you at that time. I don't think you had that many on there, photos of things of that nature. So that made it a little bit harder for me to do.
No, it's all good, though.
But understand, that's the reason why it took forever for me to create that correctly. Usually I can get some celebrity face or something like that, and then I can look at it, then edit it, and do some crazy stuff to it to make it work. That's how it goes. Like my goal was just to make as many as possible and never stop. That's the main goal for me. I really have an event or some kind of thing to try to create to make something real big. But my goal is this is what I like to do. I've been through all the other 2K games, and I've seen a lot of the engines on those games, and they weren't as great as this one is. Mm-hmm. And I went through a process of learning how to develop these characters to try to make them, and it was a challenge. And anybody who's trying to make these characters, I will help you if you need help with that. But the ultimate goal is just to make sure that we have a focus of all characters that haven't been shown in video games. That's my main
representation. That's dope.
Yeah, representation of anybody who hasn't been made. That's what my goal is. Because I've seen a lot of people create video game characters and wrestlers, and they all create wrestlers or some other faction. So this is the reason why I started creating these things, because I wanted a game with just like Harlem Night. I just want all the Harlem Night characters at one time. You know what I'm saying? That's what I wanted. I wanted a game where I wanted I wanted to be like I don't want Batman. I want like Black Dynamite now. So I'm gonna make all the Black Dynamite.
That's what's up.
Prince. It's like you're on the screen right now. Hey man, I'm gonna make all the Fresh Prince one. I'm not gonna stop. So a lot of people told me to stop, get off here, don't do this type of shit. But hey man, it's fun. I enjoy it, and I'm gonna keep rolling with it.
That's all that matters, man.
That's what's up.
Yeah, that's all that matters. But I say it like this: everybody else has a niche. I guess I found mine because I didn't know I could make these in this form. It just happened, and hey, I'm just gonna ride with it.
And as you see, like I play this one from here, like as you did the Devil from Clifton from Tales from the Hood. I can say it on here that I couldn't type on TikTok is you got to make the nigglets now to go along.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. I picked up the make it. I was playing on thing. I saw that comment you put on that shit. I was like, man, come on, dude. That's like,
I was joking.
Man. I got about like 60 creations already in my head, and I already started making like the faces and stuff for all of them. So in a matter of time, they will come out there.
I was purely joking. Like this one, like Super Cat, like the straight original Don Dada.
The original Don Dada.
The original Don Dada.
Wow. Dope.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, TJ, you're the last one on the show that's not on TikTok. Like
I refuse to get another app, bro. I don't want more apps.
Yo, delete one of the shit apps and add TikTok.
I swear, we tell you this shit just about every week, and Jamal tells you how big of the rabbit hole we falls down. Look at he did Fat Al.
That's OG Al Sharpton too.
I did make Skinny Al, but that would come out soon with the bobblehead shit. But that's coming out soon.
You have to do, you know what? Just if we're adding suggestions, you gotta do Fat Al in the Sergio Tacchini suits.
No.
Okay, gotcha.
No.
Oh yeah.
Was that circa 89?
Tawana Brawley.
88, 80, 89.
That's post Tawana Brawley. Yeah.
Right about Tawana Brawley. Yep.
Wow. Yeah. All right. We're gonna get that done.
Man.
Well,
we're gonna get that done. Well, I think we're gonna try to create everything. Yeah, go ahead.
So question I had behind the creation of this thing, because as you know, I let you know, like you kind of inspired me to pay the $60+ for WWE 2K, which I haven't played in a while. But what I noticed was difficult is the faces. Now, have you been doing? Do you use like the I think the camera feature or whatever image capture features that are in it to try to pull the accuracy of like the face? Or do you just side by side and actually tweak the face?
Oh yeah. So it depends. It depends on the actual photo that I would use or what kind of the molding I would use. It just depends on that feature. So I will actually take the picture and then go through it step by step to look at the facial features in order to contour it into that actual face. In the game, there's a lot of different aspects in it. So you can create a face sculpture, I believe, and then you can take the face and morph it with a program. That program allows it to morph onto the face more clearly. It's a basic program you can get. I usually don't use it anymore. I used to use it when I first started at the beginning. That's why your character looked the way it looks like DJ Flex, like you said. And now I use just the straight format. I just take the picture, I cut it down, I run it through a filter, make sure everything is straight, match it up with the skulls that are on the game. There's like about 12, 15 different skulls that are on that game. One's a black guy, one's like a big nose white guy, one's like somebody else, a Chinese guy, whatever it may be. you have to pick that one correctly in the beginning. If you pick that one wrong, it won't work because the faces won't match up.
Shout out to Conway Liddy. He said, "I'm still trying." He said, "I'm still trying to beat Eddie Guerrero in showcase mode." Yo, the 2K that 2K wrestling game is not fucking easy. It's not, and they swear that it's better than it. Definitely looks better than whatever was before it. And to be honest with you, this was my first like wrestling 2K game because call me old head, but I kind of stayed away from WWE wrestling games ever since the WCW games have moved away from THQ back in the day. So we're going way back to 64.
Wow.
Wow, you talking about like WCW, NWO Revenge, and all that stuff?
Yeah, I was playing them this week on the emulators.
You ever played Virtual Pro 2?
And these shits
Virtual Pro 2, have you heard of that?
Maybe I'll try that. I'll check for it. Am I planning on copying the AEW game? Absolutely. But we need our boy Jamal again.
Yeah, go ahead. There was a Japanese game that came out, Virtual Pro 2. And that had like all like the UFC guys, and it was an old game now. You probably can get it on eBay or something like that. It's called Virtual Pro Wrestling 2. It's for the N64. I'm sure they have it emulated by now. And that had like every genre, like ECW when it first came out. It had all the different different factions or federations on it. Even UFC, Bash Rush, and stuff like that. It was right off that THQ engine, and that was a good game. The THQ games are awesome.
So now I'm gonna have to go find it. Now I'm gonna have to go find that.
Well, it's a great game. I'm telling you right now. I used to own it. I don't have it any longer, but Virtual Pro Wrestling 2 is what it's called, and it has every fraction on it. So every faction or every federation that you can name, and it is unlimited. It's a great game.
Cool. So
check it out.
You gave me something to look for once we're done. But before we get there, before we get to the video game portion of the show, excuse me, y'all. Conway Liddy, I do plan on copping the AEW game because I'm a big AEW supporter. But NBA basketball, because Big O reminded us that we didn't give like a real NBA breakdown. And maybe in the coming weeks or so, we're going to really do that. As I told Demetrius that we are Knicks fans on this show, so we're just going to do a quick Knicks breakdown as far as we go around, but we need to know, as a guest, as far as sports, if you are a sports fan, and where do your allegiances lie to, from football, basketball, baseball. Those are the main ones that we kind of look over. If you have a hockey allegiance, you can add that in too. But who are your teams?
Buffalo Bills, which is a weird one for everybody. Since 92, 93. Yeah, Buffalo Bills with Thurman Thomas and Jim Kelly. That's my team, man.
Andre Reed.
Yeah, we know all about Buffalo Bills. We beat the shit out of them in the Super Bowl.
Bruce Smith. I wasn't going to go there. I was just going to let him live.
Them teams were loaded too.
Baseball would be the Toronto Blue Jays. That was my team, and it still is my team. I don't really follow it too much, but that was like with Roberto Alomar and Phil Carter, shit like that. That was my team.
Nice.
And that's what I would stick with. I stick with classics. Yeah, that's what I used to love. And basketball would be the Pacers with Reggie Miller, and then when he had.
Wow.
That's my team, man. I don't care what they do, but that's why I always will stick with. Back when they had whatever his name is, that sorry guy, Eddie George. But that's about it for me.
Wow, you all over the place.
Oh yeah.
That's what I was thinking
but I don't like the Ravens or Orioles and none of that shit. So I don't go that route. So that's where I'm differently from Baltimore, and I don't mess with the Baltimore teams. But
honestly, that is the most diverse sports picks I've ever seen in my entire life, bro. Nobody's got that combination, bro. Bills, Pacers.
To go completely north of the border for baseball.
In Toronto.
From a hockey country, you found your baseball team. That's crazy. That's funny. But you said the Blue Jays, and it immediately, I gotta go back to TikTok real quick, but it immediately reminded me of this fucking video here, which I remember seeing this spoof on YouTube or Facebook a while back. Where they got Derek Bell by acting like he was giving up his car.
That's hilarious, man.
But yo, them Broncos used to go hard like that though. Like,
yeah.
He was sick.
I didn't get the keys to my truck.
I don't believe it. Did you see that look on his face?
Yo, imagine. I think my heart would have dropped too. Actually, no. If some place was trying to give away my car, right, that shit right there, I'd be like, oh, word, please take it. Like, I mean,
nah, somebody's getting fired behind that shit, bro. Somebody's getting fired.
Somebody lose their job.
Yeah. Who gave this dude my keys, yo? Like, how does this shit make you feel?
Believe you me, that was a dugout effort right there.
Like he forever had his keys in his back pocket on the field. But as I mentioned, we are in NBA season. So as the guest, Demetrius, what are you expecting out of your Indiana Pacers right now?
Nothing. I'm not expecting anything.
we appreciate the honesty on the show, by the way.
That's about it. He might get the ball.
He said we might get the ball.
What do you expect out of the Pacers this year? Wembanyama. That's what we expect. High draft.
They ain't even the radar. Not even the radar. I'm not expecting anything, man. Like, I'm going for. I'll say that Golden State will win it all again. That's what my prediction is.
Nice.
I don't think because the Lakers ain't doing shit, so I can't expect it. Man, I used to like the Knicks back in the day. I mean, they were cool, I guess, with John Starks and Patrick Ewing and all that stuff. You know, that was cool. I just wanted to whip the Bulls' ass, but it never happened. So that pissed me off.
Okay, so
I couldn't stand that damn George.
So my question is because you set yourself up, right? My question is, when exactly did you like the Knicks? Because you being a Reggie Miller fan, right? So I want to know where was what
that's a no.
Where was this changeover? Like,
that came when they got eliminated and they had to go against the damn Bulls. I can't stand the damn Bulls. I'm sorry. And when the Knicks was playing the Bulls, man, that's when I started rooting for them. I like the Knicks in that aspect. But as far as anything else,
so situational.
No. Yeah,
it was situational.
So the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So.
Yeah.
Man, oh man.
Yeah, that's what I like, man. I like the Bulls, but John Starks, I like that individual player. But that's about it. I used to have the jersey and shit just because it was a fashion icon. At that time when they had them starter jerseys and shit, that was the one I used to rock because he was a beast. Besides the Reggie Miller one, and that's about it for me in that basketball because I can't stand the Bulls. I can't stand Golden State, so I stay out of it because I don't know if Curry got what kind of android or what. How the hell he making them shots? But hey, anything's possible nowadays.
Steph is inhuman, but. Yeah, I will give you a pass. Being there's only one other Pacers friend that's a friend that I'll give a pass, and that's about it because she grew up out there. But nah, man, like realistically, like that's like I said, that's like mortal enemy type territory. But when it came to the Bulls, I hated the Bulls just like everybody else did. So yeah, I personally too was a anybody but Chicago. Still to this day, and they haven't been like they're just getting better. You know what I'm saying? But they really haven't been shit for the better part of 2 decades now or so. But they're getting better. You know what I'm saying? But nah, man, what are we expecting out of our Knicks though? Like, what are we expecting out of our Knicks? I'm just personally my view only has been playoffs.
Mhm.
Whether it's 4th seed to 8th seed, I want to see us in the playoffs.
That's about where I am. Actually,
And
I'm
excuse the
expecting them to
technical
be.
difficulties, people.
Also good. I'm expecting the Knicks to be in that play-in tournament. That's probably where they'll land because the East is deep this year. But playoffs, all I want out of the Knicks any year is playoffs. That's all I want out of the Knicks. You know, I don't have no lofty expectations. I would love for them to make the playoffs. I think they're going to land in the play-in tournament. They got to, if they keep playing good ball, if the young pups keep improving, they got a solid shot. Maybe they will make it. The top 8. They played 2 fantastic games so far. I mean, we came up short against Memphis, but Memphis is one of the best squads out west last year. The Knicks gave them everything they could handle in OT, and all our guys wasn't even playing that well. First season with a new point guard. Just starting to. We haven't even meshed yet. RJ still improving, and then they dropped $130 on the Pistons. 2 nights later. So the Knicks the Knicks are not to bring up the ghost of Dennis Green, but they are who I think they are. We're probably gonna land. They probably run the playoff tournament. That's all I want, the play-in tournament. And if we can get in, boom.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm looking at playing tournament, and that's if we're lucky. The East is deep. The East is deep. I know the Sixers right now are 0-3. That's an anomaly. That's gonna change the Sixers.
That's funny though. That's motherfucking funny.
Yeah. The Sixers they're definitely gonna be in the high, and they're definitely gonna get first round home advantage in the first round. The Knicks right now I'm surprised that Cam Reddish went off when he did, because that was probably Cam Reddish's best game
as a pro
and college. He came highly touted as high school. Yeah, he came highly touted in high school. But in Duke he never went off like that. And in the pros, he definitely didn't. Unfortunately, he plays for the wrong coach with Thibodeau, because Thibodeau is more of a defensive-minded coach. But I like our chances. Barrett, he needs to be more consistent. You know what I'm saying? If Barrett is more consistent, it'll definitely be his team. You got a max deal. You're not going anywhere. You got your money. You feel every year you feel you're being disrespected or whatever the case is, but you have to consistently put up numbers. And right now he's not doing that. I see play-in tournament. Be honest with you, I'm not saying I want the Knicks to tank, but I would rather us get a lottery pick, either get a lottery pick or get a new coach, because Thibodeau is he's if we had D'Antoni with this team, we'd be in the top 6. But Thibodeau was defense. He doesn't care anything about offense. It's different when we had Pat Riley being a defensive minded coach, because we all know that Pat Riley with Showtime and all that. So we were all stunned in the 90s when Pat Riley was telling Greg Anthony, Charlie Ward, or Mark Jackson, whoever, to walk the ball up court. We're not used to that with Pat Riley. Thibodeau, we know where we're getting. So I'm not gonna jump overboard and say give it to Thibodeau just yet, but this is the lineup that we have is not Thibodeau's first choice. We know that. You know what I'm saying? So we have to see where it goes from there.
Yeah, well, we'll make it work, I believe. But it's I'm also a believer in when you got young talent, you can't consistently switch up coaching on them and let them grow together and let them build together as a team. Obviously, not to bring it to the NFL, but to bring it to the NFL real quick. You see how I changed my tune on Jalen Hurts because Jalen Hurts, this is his first season. This is his first time in 2 seasons he's had the same coaching staff. Growth, and especially in basketball, a young crew needs to gel under one coaching staff. They need time and stuff to gel under one staff. And because we're in the results-based, what have you done for me lately type of world of sports now, TJ, like, might get his wish eventually. And then we're going to have to start over. And then we're going to have to start over. And then but we hope not.
Yeah. Listen, all I want is consistency. They played hard that first game, took a team that had no business going to overtime with them to overtime. Then they came and straight washed the team that they were supposed to be. That's what you are looking for. Thibodeau this year has been preaching pace. And I gotta say this. Jalen Brunson is showing you what a competent point guard can do for a team like the Knicks.
That's a fact.
Hands down, period. The man controls the game. They look to him. People are getting in their spots. Julius Randle, I know it's super early. Julius Randle, he looking like a different dude right now.
He's balling.
If Cam Reddish can get his shit straight, the bench is already deep and it's a solid squad. On most nights they can cook another team's bench, period. Especially with Derrick Rose out there, they're definitely gonna cook. But
we should definitely get a win tonight. We should definitely get a win tonight with Orlando. Definitely.
Yes. So
Cam Reddish was that X factor too, TJ.
Yes.
That up.
Yes, he was.
We didn't expect. Nobody expected him to do that.
Bro, me and my pops was watching a game. I was like, "Yo, who's gonna take this shot?" Nobody named Cam Reddish. Okay, nobody named Cam Reddish was expected to take that shot. But if he can get himself together, that bench squad is going to be something ridiculous, sure. as they were 2 years ago, and before all the injuries happened last year. They were a top bench squad in the league, and once you had to go to the bench, whether they were down 8 or 10, that squad was getting us back into the game most nights. Now,
and I'm sorry, and Quentin Grimes is hurt.
He's not even playing.
Quentin Grimes ain't even playing.
Right. So that's just that's more tools in the tool bag. You know what I'm saying? It's just Jalen Brunson has changed the dynamic of his team 180 degrees. The dude is not shook of nobody. He plays style defense even for a smaller guard. And this is going to be an exciting season. I don't think we're going to have the highs and lows that we normally would have had. I think we're going to be a steady pace. We're going to be a few games above 500 for the whole season. That's the way I see it. We're going to be 3 to 5 games above 500. And whether that's a high play-in or maybe squeaking in at the 6th seed, who knows? But Chicago's dealing with injuries right now. Lonzo Ball is hurt. He's not coming back to probably Christmas. Atlanta still takes time to gel, but they look like they're getting their shit together. The Miami Heat. If we can go 500 against the Heat, the Bulls, and the fucking other team, the Heat, the Bulls, and there's one middling team that I can't remember right now. If we can play 500 ball against those teams, we got a shot every night to up ourselves into that talk of 7th or 6th or 7th seed, because that'll make the difference. And I think Jalen he's not here to lose. He's going to do what he has to do to win, whether it's taking over the game or making sure people are in their spots. You can see the difference already, and these guys are playing differently already with just him on the floor. They're running.
Real point guard.
A real point guard. And that's all we've been asking for is a real point guard with real point guard play. Dude got 15 assists in 2 games with no turnovers. I don't even know when the last time that's happened. So it
Listen,
changes the dynamic of the squad. I just hope he stays healthy for the whole season. That's the only my thing.
That's a fact. I'm gonna tell you, I have a love-hate relationship with Jalen Brunson. You know, that's why I didn't bring him up when it was my turn. I am a huge Tar Heel fan. You know, I'm pretty much New York. I'm pretty much New York when it comes to my teams. But college basketball, I am a Tar Heel fan since
That man broke your heart.
Since number
That
42
man broke.
wore his jersey. Before 23. Because 42 was wearing his jersey. I was a Tar Heel fan, man. And Jalen Brunson cooked us in the championships, boy. He cooked us. You know, so I'm like, damn. So I'm like, so even now when what's up?
Get used to it. He's gonna be cooking a lot of people. People are sleeping on this dude, yo.
Yeah,
people are sleeping on this dude. They
and TJ, that's the point I'm trying to make. That's the point I'm trying to make. Even in I watched the playoffs just like everybody else did, right? And and I'm watching it, and you know, everybody's like, oh, Jalen, oh, he did it. I'm like, yeah, all right. You know what I mean? I'm like, but it's Doncic. But so even when the Knicks got him, and I was like, yeah, we'll see, because I didn't like this dude and what he did to my Tar Heels, man.
But
like,
you gotta check the resume. You gotta check the resume. The resume. He's played championship ball in college. Okay. He's played very good playoff basketball with Dallas without Doncic there. Okay.
Yes.
So the man knows when the bright lights are on, he's going to show up. Period.
Yes.
And that's a quality we've been missing for a long time. None of these dudes have accomplished what Jalen Brunson, has accomplished in his college career, much less his professional career. So he's ready for the moment. New York is life for him. He's been here all his life with his pops. He's seen the success of the 90s Knicks, all that. The man is ready. He's in the right place at the right time. So
that's Dallas' loss, man.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
And that spells great for us. Like I said, so we're all consistent that at least I'm calling playoffs like solid. I think we'll be in solidly without the play-in, but at minimum, we all believe at least the play-in or
absolutely,
which is good enough, man. But now we're gonna move on to we're gonna finally have some fun because we got our guests just kind of sitting there like, yeah, you know what, like let them take their spit off. We're gonna finally have some fun. We're gonna start off with the video game side of things, and then we're gonna get into those funny ass characters, shows, and stuff that just we know for a fact just cannot be created today. Like be created, recreated, like pretty much anything Mel Brooks wouldn't be the legend that he is today. And he is if
the white girl's that.
Exactly. Exactly. But all right, so here's what we're gonna do, Demetrius. We went through, and we all kind of individually took a category. I got fighting games. Jamal got the side scroller beat 'em ups. O got the sports games. TJ picked a bunch of role playing games. Where should we start off with first?
Let's start with the fighting games.
All right, so get me out of the way early. That's no problem with that. I can sit back and play producer after that. And this is cool because you know what? As I mentioned last week, if anybody listened, I got stories with some of these. And here's the 5 that I chose to pick to talk about first. Now there's honorable mentions to Tekken. You know, Tekken is definitely I didn't want to just throw it on the list just for obvious. Ooh, I'm picking all the everybody knows these shit games. But Tekken was one of those games that we used to spend hours upon hours kicking each other's asses in at my boy Lamar's house. Shout out to my brother Lamar, Leon, Danny, all my people that we used to go riding around to go play all these fighting games too with bike riding back in the day. So honorable mention to them. Honorable mention to this game called World Heroes that my brother Lamar was put on to by way of, I think he bought the game. I don't think he rented the game. I think he bought the game. But as I'm showing y'all the screenshot of the games that I did pick. Let me get to the stop screen and show you, because I got the emulator up running. World Heroes. I don't know if y'all remember this one at all.
Yeah, I know it.
But this joint here was almost Street Fighter-esque in a way, as far as you went around the world and fought against different people that looked like Bison or fought like Zangief.
I've never seen this game before.
Yo,
Yeah, this is a straight ripoff
I remember
right here.
I'm playing that game live to be exact. I was just playing the joint live for anybody who's listening via podcast. That's one of my honorable mentions list, because I had a brain fart in trying to remember that game because I was looking for the emulator, because going into this week's episode, like, it just made me dig into the emulator bag again and just keep playing, especially because I got my PS5 controller to work as a controller on my computer. So now instead of trying to play on the keyboard, I can sit there like this and play. Makes everything so much better. But another game which I'm gonna go grab the emulator for that I happen to remember today in the honorable mention list is Eternal Champions. It was another fighting game.
Oh, Eternal Champions was dope.
It was tough. And it leads me into, and I gotta segue it by way of this, because my shout out to my man who's like my little brother Chris. I remember he had the game, and I'm specifically, the crazy shit is, I'm specifically remembering, like, when I played these games, almost exactly where I was playing them also. And Eternal Champions was a game that I remember we had the little 13-inch TV in the backyard with an extension cord running outside, playing. Everybody was passing the sticks, playing that. We was playing Shaq Fu. We was playing everything on the game outside in the backyard. But I have to go, because I mentioned Chris, I have to go to this game here first. That I got to point to Mortal Kombat first, because I have to also give condolences and rest in peace to Chris, to his mom, Miss Maddie Wilson. I have one, because that's like family. I haven't seen them in forever, but that's family there. Like I said, my mother babysit him from when he was 6 months old till about 13, 14, when he started to stay home on his own, because his mom always worked, and his mom always worked in Manhattan. But that woman brought us to see the Mortal Kombat show live that they did on Broadway.
Oh, word?
She brought us to see that live.
I didn't even know Mortal Kombat had a live show of Broadway.
I did not know that.
They did. And the funniest part about it was, and this was in the era of Jax and all of them, the funniest part about it was the black man who played Jax, his metal arms was silver stockings that he had.
Damn.
But wow. Yeah, man, the
disrespect.
The irony of us talking about that, me choosing fighting games, and I have to also give condolence love to the woman who brought us to bring that. Again, rest in peace to Miss Maddie Wilson. But I mean, Mortal Kombat. The story behind this one. First time I ever beat Mortal Kombat. I've told this story on this show before. First time I've ever beat Mortal Kombat was in Starbase Comics on Portsmouth Avenue. I rode my bike down there. I beat the game off 50 cents alone, straight run.
Wow.
Highest moment of my life at that time. was like, yes. I walked out the store to go home on my bike, mad happy. No, fuck. My bike was stolen.
Damn.
Bro, they saw you deeply involved in that game. He's like, he's not going to miss this.
Yeah, he ain't gonna do this.
Have you seen the bootleg Mortal Kombat game, like the one that the 3DO made out in 1995, I think, or 92? I don't know what year it was, but it's called Way of the Warrior, where it had a Rom Zombie soundtrack. How terrible that was!
I don't
Have you
remember
ever
that.
seen that
Now
out?
I'm gonna have to look for that because I don't
Called Way
remember
of the
that.
Warrior. They had a Rob Zombie soundtrack. It had like a fake Raiden, a fake Sub-Zero, and it was terrible music. I mean, this shit was terrible. And it came on a 3DO. And man,
Yeah,
that
see-
thing was kind of crazy.
And see,
You gotta
that's
check it out.
probably why I didn't know about it because I've only known one person. Shout out to my man Elliot. This is the only cat that I knew that had a Panasonic 3DO.
Oh, okay.
Only one person I knew had, just like how I was the only person that I knew all around that had a TurboGrafx 16. And I remember crying
I
in
used
the
to have
mall
one.
to my grandmother for it. Now you're person number 2 that I know who had one.
Yeah.
But
There's another fighting game that's called I don't know what it was called, but you probably can look it up. It was a 3DO game where you had a martial arts masters. It was called like the TV show, but you had two hands like a first person shooter, and you walked around.
Oh.
And have you ever heard that game?
No, you going deep in the bag, my man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's true.
yeah.
You're
There's a
going
game
deep
where
in
you
the
had like
bag.
two hands, and you walk around with some 3DO. It was on a Sega CD. It was on a whole bunch of these old machines, and you had two hands. You go fight against these martial arts masters, and
Yes.
and then you
Oh,
also had like
that's
live
this
video
joint, right?
feeds.
He
Huh?
just had the two fists up in the front of the
Yeah.
screen.
Yes.
That was Super Spy.
Was it
Was it?
called?
The Super
I don't
Spy.
think so. It was a
No?
game. It's called martial arts something. What something martial arts, and they had like two guys, martial arts masters or something. They had like real actors in it, and you would walk around town and you would fight them with like two hands and go
I
through
just
different
remember
levels
that.
and shit.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that was one of the other fighting games. That was the exclusive one that you probably couldn't find nowadays. Probably can, but 3DO had all these crazy knockoff type games.
Yeah,
And I believe those
I'm gonna have to
things.
check for some of these shits. But as I'm talking, and I mentioned Tekken, I realized I forgot. I put Tekken 2 characters on the bottom because Heihachi Mishima was my guy in that game. Warang, however you pronounce it, it started with the H. That was my guy because he had that leg kick
Oh,
that you was able
Clean
to
dude?
throw up
That
and
old
charge, and
Yeah.
bang. But
Yeah,
but that was my shit. But next story was Time Killers. And I thought it was a game that was similar too, but it was Time Killers. Played it in the arcade machine. I kind of briefly told this story last week. This is when my mother was in a bowling league and at this bowling alley that's no longer out here on Staten Island. So I used to want to go sometimes just to hang out, just cause whatever. And as she bowled, I used to try to play on the machines. And I'm playing against this one dude. Now, ironically, this girl that I went to high school with, her mother bowled in the league also. And I liked the girl. And I'm beating the shit out of this dude, thinking, yeah, I'm big shit. I'm doing this in front of this girl, right? I cut the dude's arms off. I cut the dude's legs off. I end up losing the fucking match. And then when I went to school, I could not live down the fact that I lost to somebody with no arms and no legs. After I was whooping ass, I lost to a dude with no arm, and not the person playing the game. Obviously, I'm talking about the character in the game.
That would have been much worse. That would have been much worse. You got beaten. You lost to some Stephen Hawking dude, bro.
Oh shit!
That's rugged. That is rugged.
With the voice.
That shit would have been that would have been all time legendary. You had to be there.
Oh, that right there was the clip for TikTok. Holy shit! Holy shit! But nah, man. But Time Killers though, and then like playing it nowadays, like how cheesy it was, how stiff of a game it was, like so laggy and all that. But still, this was like besides the factor of Mortal Kombat being the first game with blood in it. This was the first game where you was able to dismember a person in the fight, like using the guy Rancid with the chainsaw hand. Like I think we all tried to purposely play like him to try to, you thinking with the chainsaw you're gonna easily cut people's things off. But there was a woman in the game with swords who did it even easier, that cut limbs off with those swords in it. But this was one of them games that was just I had to mention. Samurai Showdown.
Mm-hmm.
Samurai
Classic.
Showdown
That was my joint.
Was one of my favorite fighting games of all time. And this one, once again, I know exactly where I used to play this shit. It was at a video store that used to be on Port Richmond Avenue. Right around the corner. Shout out to the homie Ian. Get better quickly, my brother.
Word up.
It's right around the corner from where he used to live, this arcade machine was. And it was in the old school Neo Geo cabinets. And if y'all remember the Neo Geo cabinets of back in the day, if you were one of them fortunate rich kids who owned a Neo Geo system and had, because y'all are shaking your head, but y'all remember them joints was $400, like to almost $700-800.
Yeah.
Yo, the shit costs more than the PS5 now.
Yeah.
Well, in my head, that's I'm like, yo, I can't afford this.
And remember, the cartridges was like this fucking big.
Yeah.
The cartridges was like the size of a fucking VHS.
It was wild chips in them cartridges.
I remember back in the day, Blockbuster used to have them joints you could rent them. I was like, man, who the hell has this goddamn machine?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Remember the days where you was able to rent the whole system, but you had to put down like $100 deposit on the system.
Yo, you couldn't do that now because you wouldn't get the shit back.
You would never get
the
back.
You ain't getting the shit back.
Facts. Facts. But when I mentioned the cabinet, because like I said, if you were a person who was rich enough to have afforded one and had the memory card, you were able to take what you saved off your video game system at home, play it in the arcade, and then take that save from the arcade and play that bitch back home.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
That was one of the illest shits ever. They used to have a memory card slot on the front of the cabinets. But Samurai Showdown was one of them games that we used to play. I used to play that shit all the time. This was one of those I could not wait till when it finally came on home systems. Then it was a wrap from there. But we all got to go to the GOAT and the one that started it all, Street Fighter 2. From 2 to 2 Turbo to Champion Edition, when we finally got excited to where we was able to play with all the bosses in the game, and then it just shot off from there till all
Marvel vs. Capcom, all that shit.
Yeah,
bro.
It spawned it spawned everything.
Dan. So I'm sorry, Dan. I have a question. So if there was a Mount Rushmore, would you put Street Fighter 2 on that Mount Rushmore?
Yes. You have to.
Easy. That
you have to.
First face.
Yeah. You have to.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
Followed by Tekken and Mortal Kombat. Like easy.
Yeah. Because that spawned, like you said, that spawned everything.
Yeah.
After that.
That was the
every fighting game after that took something from Street Fighter 2.
Absolutely.
Except for the beating up the car part. I'm still trying to figure that shit out. But other than that,
Yeah. So, Demetrius, what kind of fighting games could you add on? Because that's what you're going to do. Besides picking what's next.
Arm fighting. Have you heard of that?
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that. Honorable mention goes to the Fatal Fury series.
Yeah, that one with Nick Fury and all that. That was a good one.
Yeah, Final Fight was a beat 'em up, but Fatal Fury or the I think it was what was the one that went by years? I don't think it was Art of Fighting. It was something else.
Final Fight? That's a side scroller, I think. Final Fight might be.
Final Fight
King of Fighters?
King of Fighters, that one.
King of Fighters?
Oh, King of Fighters, yeah.
Yeah, because I was thinking King of Fighters 98.
Too much shit going on for me. What about
Yeah.
Guilty
Dan,
Gear?
you left.
Did you play that one?
Guilty Gear, I think we tried. That was one of them. Dead or Alive was another joint too that we didn't really play, but we knew about.
Dan, you left off your favorite though, Dan. Virtual Fighter.
Fuck Virtual Fighter. That's what
Virtual Fighter.
I was saving for last. Fuck Virtual Fighter.
That shit was
I was waiting for him to
lazy.
bring it up, man.
Fucking lazy design, man.
You know what's funny? I bought Sega Dreamcast, and I remember being on post. I remember being in Korea, and I bought it, and that was the game that came with the system. And so I remember a couple of weeks we started talking about the game, and I was like, damn, I wanted to bring up the game, but I ain't bringing that shit up now because
What about Soul Calibur?
Soul Calibur.
Soul Calibur was my shit.
Love Soul Calibur. Yes, love Soul
Calibur
Calibur.
was another one.
Yeah.
Woo.
Key Leak, I picked all the cheesy dudes like Key Leak and dude with the nunchucks.
Yeah, it's got nunchucks in the beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite game. One of the favorite ones I used to play.
Soul Calibur was definitely a classic.
Yeah,
I
Soul
think
Calibur was my
I
game.
think fuck with Charlotte in that one.
Oh wow,
Charlotte
yeah.
was cool.
You remember some of the worst games like that Primal Rage game with the dinosaurs and shit?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Wow!
Primal Rage, yep.
Oh my god, that shit was so trash.
I get
Oh yeah.
I get that game and Altered Beast mixed up all the time.
Oh okay.
I don't remember Primal Rage.
What was the joint that was like a mix of Mortal Kombat and Primal Rage? It was like Primal something. Is it called Primal? Where they had the dude he was like a ripoff of Sub-Zero. His name was Glacius, and he used to shoot ice at you.
It wasn't a ripoff really, but I wanted to also give honorable mention to Killer Instinct.
That's it. That's it.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Nah, that game was no ripoff. His Primal Rage. This was Primal Rage.
Yeah, okay. Killer Instinct.
Trash.
I mean, Killer Instinct was dope.
Yeah.
No,
There
Killer
was a
Instinct was fire.
complex fighting game like Tobal 1 that I could never figure out. I mean, it had like the moves. It's supposed to be one of the complex, greatest fighting games, but the shit was trash to me. Called Tobal 1. If you look that up.
It's like Tobal or Tobal?
Tobal, like Tobal.
Yes,
I
I remember that game.
Wow, you remember that game? I don't remember that game, man.
No, I remember that game. The shit was hard as fuck.
I remember Killer Instinct. I remember Killer Instinct because Killer Instinct was like one of the first games that would be like the 30, 40 hit combo or whatever, and then Marvel vs. Capcom took it.
Yeah. There was this fighting game. It was like it was the only fighting game they ever made where you could use 4 people in the same match. It was a long time ago. It was on PlayStation 1. I don't know what the hell the name of it was, but it had some gothic creatures back in the day before it was gothic. Like 2 ladies with thongs on and like 2 like twins.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what that game is called, but I have to look it up and find out what it is. But it was
How
a
did I
fighting
miss
game.
that
It was
one?
the first one. You could use 4 people in the ring. 4 people in
What
the
you say the
building.
name
It
of
was
the game
like
was?
Silence
I
of
need to
the
look this
Lambs
up.
and shit. And that game was crazy. It was like Silence of the Lambs type game, and I don't know, but it was like it was a dark shit. It was a dark shit.
But
That
now,
was back in the day.
just to wrap it up, do y'all remember this hack here? Strip Fighter.
No.
And I can't blow
What?
this up because of obvious reasons. But yeah, man, somebody made this game called Strip Fighter 2. And one of the attacks was, as I'm circling here because I don't want to get it blocked from YouTube, she would charge at you pulling her titties out.
What?
The big one in the back. Yep. When I heard about this shit, the horny little boy that I was trying to find this game everywhere. And then eventually, when the emulators became a thing, I found that shit.
That sounds like
I need to watch that tonight with some candles.
nah. The game you want is Larry's Lounge Lizard. The game you want is Larry's Lounge Lizard.
Wow.
That game was.
I think it's Larry Leisure Suit or something, right? Larry Leisure Suit.
Yeah,
Larry Leisure Suit. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Wow.
That game was pimp for real.
All right, so next up, where are we going? Role play. Demetrius,
before we go any further, it would be
All right, you know what? It's
what's the
your
word I'm
birthday.
looking for?
It's your
I
birthday.
apologize.
Nah, you got it.
But I know fighting games was not my thing, but we have to mention Super Smash Brothers because Super Smash Brothers had a huge following. No one ever mentioned it. You know, I was
Yeah.
never a big Nintendo guy, but Super Smash Brothers had a big following. So, you know, honorable mention, shout out goes to Super Smash Brothers.
No,
You know what? I hated that game. I hated that
Yeah.
game.
It was a lot going on for me at once, so I was never good at it. But it had a huge following to that
It
yeah,
game.
did.
fact. And I got it in the house because my kids, my mother got them for Christmas last year, before they fucking broke the Switch. But I digress. But she got them Super Smash Brothers.
So angry.
I never really dove into it yet, but I purposely bought Nickelodeon made a Smash Brothers game and had a lot of like the Nickelodeon characters. Like I was playing with Powdered Toast Man from Ren and Stimpy in that joint. And then they have a new one called Multiverse, which I need to buy some more of the characters in it, but you could play as like Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman, Bugs Bunny, Rick and Morty, LeBron James in the joint. Like it's actually pretty fun. It's a button it's a button mashing fighting game, but it is pretty fun.
Dan, you say Powdered Toast Man, and all I see is the Ren and Stimpy episode where the man is jumping from some height, leading with his ass coming down. Like the heat was coming off his ass as he was jumping down.
Yo, Ren and Stimpy came on was a legend, bro.
Oh no. Well, we're gonna talk about those in a little while because Ren and Stimpy came out right on time. Because that shit like that wouldn't be able to be made today. And that was my show. But anytime I think of Ren and Stimpy, I still to this day always think about the land of lost left socks. But yeah, real quick, because we all in the. How old are you, Demetrius? Because I feel we're all in the same vein.
40.
Oh, okay. So you right there with us. My man. All right, so that's why everything feels so familiar with when we talking with such ease and all that.
Okay,
we all like,
gotcha. Yeah.
You're the same age as my younger brother. You're an 82 baby. That means, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you right there with us. Right? You definitely right there with us. But I was giving it up. I was giving it up to O. But Demetrius, talk about some of your favorite sports games real quick before we get into O's list.
Well, I see his list right there, but I don't see. Is that on there? NFL Blitz?
No, it's not.
Nah.
That was a dope ass arcade game.
Yeah, I used to like the arcade versions. Probably like the NBA, the college one. I don't see that on there. The NCAA game they made.
Yeah, I thought about that one too. I did. Yeah. I was gonna be honorable mention for me.
Like that joint.
Oh.
Yeah, that was my favorite game. Baseball one was a World Series. Baseball was on Sega Saturn, I believe. That was the best baseball game I ever played. I don't care what they say.
Yes.
That
one.
That was
Saturn,
the one
so I played that.
Religiously. Yeah, that one, that World Series baseball. I used to love that one. That was a great one. And that NCAA basketball. That's the thing. I'm talking about the EA Sports one, but that one was good too. I used to play that one, but it's kind of a crazy game to play. But that had on the team. But the one with I guess it was called NCAA. I don't know what the EA Sports version was. They only made it a couple years. And that was
you're right.
Yeah.
That's what I played, the EA Sports one. Yep.
Yeah. I played that one too. I used to have that one. That was the only game I had on that Super Nintendo at one time. And I used to play that one like religiously when you take the shots and stuff, like weird shots and slow motion, not the graphics off. You go on full court, you see on the side and stuff like that. NBA Jams, I didn't see that on the list. Maybe it is. Yeah, NBA Jams.
I forgot about that one. NBA Jam. I don't know how.
Yeah, that was like one icon one. You picked like a George Clinton and stuff, and all the crazy characters. I think they made a remake one with Joe Biden and Obama. I think it was the last one they ever made.
That's crazy.
I think you download that one. That was kind of beast. As far as like hockey games, there was an NHL fake hockey games and the NBA Street. I used to like that game. That was kind of beast.
Yeah. You mentioned
Yeah.
you mentioned NHL. NHL '94 was that game.
Yeah,
That
it
was the
was.
Yes, it
one.
was.
That,
Yes, it was.
And it was
what
the
made
NHL one that Midway made was kind of like Blitz. I kind of like that one. I don't know what that was called. That was the
I don't
NHL.
remember that one.
There was one just like Blitz. They made it in as NHL. Man, that was fun. I used to play that a lot, and that one took it to the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Don't
I
forget
used
Blades of Steel for
Oh
NES.
yeah,
That
yeah,
was
I was just
Blades of
playing that
Steel.
yesterday.
Damn.
I was just
yeah.
with the
Blades
You played that
NHL
yesterday.
'94. NHL '94 was so dope, and it was cheese and easy because once you got the pattern of how to skate up to the goalie, and then you would fake one side and slap shot the other way, it was
It's
automatic goal season all fucking.
Mhm.
Another thing is those 2K tennis games. Man, those are beasts. The 2K tennises on Dreamcast when they first came out.
Yeah,
Yo, them games was
I
too
remember
hard.
that.
Them games
Yeah.
was too hard to play,
Oh,
bro.
no, man, it's not too hard, but they're beasts though. Those were some of the beast games I used to like. The boxing one you got on there. Like, what about that Ring King? Remember that? Or that
Yes.
Ring King.
Yo,
Ring King.
I used to go to
Evander
Great
Holyfield, yeah.
Adventures. I used to go to Great Adventures, and the highlight of my day was to go up there and play Ring King, man.
Like, what about
Yeah.
that Evander Holyfield boxing? We
Yes,
used to
Yo,
break
that-
Evander Holyfield,
Yeah.
straight up, Evander Holyfield was the precursor to Fight Night and all those games. They
Yeah,
really-
you're
Yes, he
right.
was.
pretty much took the whole pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah, Evander Holyfield boxing was fucking fire. But the
Yeah,
one
Yeah,
that
it's fun.
football
wasn't,
game. I used to play like a sports talk. That Sega Genesis, Joe Montana. Man,
Mhm.
that was
Yes.
yeah, that
Yes.
was the
Let me.
first
I'm,
one that
I'm,
had
I'm gonna tell you right now, yo. I'll be honest with you. I hated that game. It was too. For me, it was way too difficult.
No, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna share a
the
childhood
early
story
Maddens.
about that.
the early Maddens were too difficult. And then when the
Really?
Montana, to me they were. Montana Sports Talk football it got better. It got better when he went to the Chiefs, and then they put the one with the Chief when he was in his Chiefs uniform on the cover. That's when that game got even better.
Bro.
He was on the Chiefs.
Bro, I got a real quick story about Joe Montana football, all right? My aunt used to live upstairs from me in our house. And I was playing with my cousins and my uncle. And the shit, it would get tense in there. Like every week we'd be in there making wild noise. My uncle wasn't doing shit. My aunt was asking him to do all this other shit. My aunt came in there with the hammer and broke that shit in front of everybody.
Damn,
Hey
dog.
yo,
Yeah.
What?
No games were played for like 6 months after that.
Yo.
She was tight.
Yeah, there's another
She
one.
said, "I'm tired of this fucking game." Blam! We was like,
Damn.
Wow.
time to go.
Yeah.
Time to go.
Wow.
Genesis up to the families, man.
I
People's
hate
Street,
you, Auntie.
like
We don't talk
People's
to her
Street,
no
if
more,
we
but
play that one.
I was gonna say, yo, was your aunt family or was it uncle family?
no, my aunt was family.
Okay, then I'm withhold what I'm about to say. I'm not gonna call her a witch. Like you witch.
No. She deserves it. She did some more fucked up shit later on, but that's why we don't talk to her
okay.
no more. So
Okay.
that was the precursor.
Who took the shit to break it?
That was the precursor. Yeah, she
What
broke
was
the
you-
shit with a
Who did
hammer.
that?
What was you
Yeah, she
saying?
broke that shit.
Like FIFA Street. Have you played that one? That's a good one. FIFA Street.
What's that?
FIFA Street. Have you seen that game? FIFA Street.
Oh
I
yeah,
haven't played it, but I've seen it.
Yeah,
But,
that's
oh,
kind of big.
all right, so go through your list because you went for the gusto on this one, and I had to cap you at a point.
Yeah. So all right. I do have an honorable mention. I want to mention first because like that right there to me is also in a Mount Rushmore of games, and it's not on the screen right there, and that's Tecmo Bowl. Tecmo Bowl.
Bo
That
Jackson.
game. Bo Jackson, Walter Payton, Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah. All
Those
He was the
guys.
Bears.
unstoppable.
Oh,
Oh gods.
Forget it.
I don't know. I don't know who programmed this game,
Yep.
but no matter if you pick the Giants, the Raiders, Yo,
The Bears?
the Bears. You can do whatever you want in that game.
You were
I was
cheating.
playing-
Automatic
You were
glitch.
cheating.
I was
you were
playing with the
cheating.
49ers just a couple days ago because it was cheat mode with them because it was Joe Montana, Roger Craig in the backfield,
And Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice on
Jerry
the offense.
Rice.
And then all you did on defense was select Ronnie Lott because he was the fastest player on that team. Then
Fastest one, yeah.
the Raiders
Yes.
had Bo Jackson, and then Howie Long was the fast defensive player.
Yeah.
And they had
Didn't
and
they
they
have
still
Marcus
had
Allen?
Marcus
The
Allen.
two-back set.
They had Marcus
They had
Allen.
Marcus
Yeah.
Allen, the two-back
They
set.
still had Marcus
Yeah.
Allen too.
Yeah.
And then the Giants, you just played with the Giants because of Lawrence Taylor. The
Yeah,
offense
because of
he was
Lawrence
able
Taylor.
to get over, but Lawrence Taylor was like fucking Bo Jackson on the defense.
Yes, pretty much. Great analogy. Great analogy. That's pretty much what it was. And I think that Tecmo Bowl, the later versions of Tecmo Bowl, you were able to compile stats. So for me, me being, that automatically got me. Like, okay, oh word. Oh, so Lawrence Taylor, so now Lawrence Taylor game week 1, he got 4 sacks. And I would carry it over to I was in love. So that game, Tecmo Bowl was.
Now I gotta play this for y'all. This is classic internet shit. Because you mentioned Tecmo Bowl, I gotta play this. I gotta play this for y'all. Shout out to this guy Robbie Rhodes Steamer.
I'm the King Wizard. It's Christmas. Yeah, you don't get hang. It's Christmas. Yeah, what's happening? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? Yeah, let's play goddamn.
This is one of the funniest fucking videos
for 8-bit Nintendo. And Aaron, what team are you gonna be? I'm gonna be the Philadelphia Eagles. And why? Because Randall Cunningham is a man. The Los Angeles Raiders. Jackson's the greatest player. I don't know if he fucked one of the programmers. And Jackson fucked one of the ladies who programmed this game because he's 10 times better than any other player on the game. I think. Listen, if you're fat and you're white and you're out there playing Nintendo on a Saturday night, you need to go goddamn get some exercise. No, you're okay. Aaron, don't make them feel bad. Look at the camera and tell those kids out there they're okay.
Don't make them feel bad.
Motherfuckers got to exercise. No. Too fat, obese. You need to goddamn exercise. What's your favorite video game for 8-bit Nintendo? You gotta press the buttons. You gotta pick a play. Randall Cunningham. No, that's not a video game for Nintendo. Yeah. Bo Jackson. What you call Bo Jackson? Bo Jackson. That's what I'm talking about. What's your favorite game for Nintendo? What you call that little dude that be running Mario? Mario? Michael Richards. Fuck Michael Richards. Bo Jackson. Ooh, too powerful.
Now here's where it gets better. Here's where it gets better in a second. Watch this.
Extra point.
He's Aaron the King Wizard finally scores a touchdown. This is where it goes.
Randall Cunningham. Yes. Hold the fuck up. It's a goddamn white guy. This white motherfucking honky bastard. I'm gonna write goddamn Nintendo and say, what the hell is this? Well, what's up with that? Nintendo fucked up on our Randall. No, everybody fucked up.
Yo, Samuel L. Jackson is about to sue.
What the hell?
Samuel L. Jackson is about to sue this guy.
Probably
dropped
the ball. How that gonna be a
Can't go head to the back.
White motherfucker.
That's for Joe Rogan.
You know about Tecmo Bowl. They haven't even made it in 20 years. Shit. So you're gonna racist mother. Nintendo's ruined my fucking Christmas.
Crazy.
Dude, that shit is internet fucking gold. This is out when the days of E-Bombs World and shit like that, man. But just because you mentioned Tecmo Bowl as an honorable mention, I had that shit.
That was hysterical.
That shit triggered my brain immediately. So I had to share that piece of comedy with y'all. But yeah, go through your list because we still got 2 more to go.
Yes. So Madden 20. I'm gonna just say John Madden Football. Madden Football, it took it a step further in Tecmo, right? So we all know the stories about how he wanted realism, whatever. and it really took it to heart. I remember my first games of John Madden football before it was called Madden football. A quarterback would get hurt, and the ambulance would come on the field. The ambulance would just drive straight onto the field,
just run over people.
Run over people. I was like, "Yo, this is the greatest thing ever!" Right?
Yo,
yo.
The first time I played Madden football was on PC, bro, on my Apple IIe.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's the first time I played Madden football, and it was him busting through a chalkboard. That was on the cover. That was on the cover, bro.
Between the ambulance running people over and the sound of you kicking a field goal and that shit hitting the crossbar. Bang. I was like, yo, this is crazy.
Yep. Boom, he's on his back. That's what, yo. Nothing beat that. And that made me watch football every Sunday, right? Mm-hmm. Just to listen to John Madden. I was straight CBS, fuck Fox, fuck Monday Night Football, straight channel
Madden
2.
Summerall, man.
Yeah,
Madden and Summerall. Exactly.
Jimmy the Greek giving his halftime perspective.
That Jimmy the Greek. We need to do another episode on Jimmy the Greek alone. I tell you, boy.
But you talked about sounds and banging on shit, and the game that I put right next to Madden had one of those most distinctive sounds possible.
I know exactly the game we're going to. Double dribble.
Yep.
Yes.
That double dribble. We used to fight over who picks Boston because everyone knows about the glitch in Boston. And I hated Boston, but I knew that if I need to win this game, I have to pick Boston. That three-point shot in the corner. Mm-hmm. I don't know who programmed this game. That corner three
was wet every time.
It was 99% gonna be wet, and we used to fight over who was picking Boston. So that game right there, as much as I hated Larry Bird, I had to pick him.
You played to win the game.
Yeah. That's what it was. Gran Turismo. My only knock with Gran Turismo. The game was too real. The game was too realistic for me at the time.
Gear shifting on that shit, man.
Gran Turismo on PS2 was fucking fire, bro.
Yeah,
was fire.
The graphics were always ahead of its time. Mm-hmm. The graphics and the sound.
You could build your own car. I built a car with like 900 horsepower, bro. It could go fast in a straight line. It couldn't do shit in the corners. It was fast.
How about that Ridge Racer? That was one of my games.
Ooh, Ridge
Racer was dope.
Yo, if you want to take it back, Excite Bike.
Excite Bike was good.
I thought you
were going to say pole position. I really thought you were going to say pole position.
Now, if we're taking it back, I was playing Rad Racer yesterday.
Rad Racer.
Oh, damn.
Outrun?
But what's the name? What was it? Was it Forza?
Outrun.
On Forza on
Xbox, yeah.
Was the rival?
Yeah, Forza had Xbox. Yeah, Forza was Xbox.
But the doper thing about Forza, in my opinion, because I too was a Gran Turismo guy, but I did play Forza on the Xbox because one, it was like so many people talked about the shit, but two, on the OG Xbox, you was able to upload music into the Xbox and play the music that you uploaded into the system on almost all the games. So I'm fucking playing like fucking Wu-Tang and Helter Skelter while playing fucking Madden or playing Gran Turismo.
What's better than that?
Like that shit was dope. But Gran Turismo, like you said, realism. The only realism part that I hated that was kind of felt unreal about racing games of that era was how loose the steering was.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know what?
Loose meaning like you just hit a little bit like this and the car is fucking fishtailing like crazy. Like
Bro,
Yeah.
that shit was not made for a joystick. You needed a steering wheel to play that game.
Yeah.
You would mash the joystick too hard to the left and to the right. You was in the trees, bro.
Well,
Yeah, he was.
my brother did buy a racing control one time, the steering wheel, and though it was fun, it almost made it even more delicate because you want to think that you're really driving a car.
Right.
It didn't work that easily. But next up though,
Okay. So next up is FIFA. I've been a FIFA fan. I've had FIFA 09. I'm talking about for PC, like way back. I've been a FIFA fan. I never really did a Konami. I never really did the Pro Revolution. Because I enjoyed the game and what came along with it as far as like career mode. All my games, whether it came to Madden, NBA Live, 2K, or whatever the case is, excuse me, I always play career mode. I never really do the my player too much because I like to be in control of everything. And FIFA, I thought that gave me that love, that, where I felt like I was general manager, coach, and player. So I enjoy FIFA. I have FIFA 2023. Unfortunately, this is the last one that's going to come out with FIFA and EA. So we're gonna see where it goes from here. But FIFA was my choice for soccer games. Love that game. That probably gets the most hours out of me. Right, that and then 2K being right under that.
It's because of the realism, though, right? Oh, I mean, it was spot
it's the
on.
realism. It's the realism was spot on, and again, like I said, like me playing general manager or me playing owner and coach and manager. I loved all of that, as along with you managing each and every player. Like, this player feels like he's not getting enough playing time or whatever the case is. FIFA was my game for that, So nice. I love every aspect of that game. Fight night, I can play Fight Night with my eyes closed, and it's not a match for me. Fight Night, I've played so much Fight Night that I have to play it on the highest level there was, and it really wasn't a match for me. I would pick Bernard Hopkins, I pick Ali. Those are my two guys. Really didn't pick Tyson too much, even though Tyson was enjoyable to play with. But Ali and Bernard Hopkins were my guys. It saddens me that they really don't feel the urge to come out with another one. Yeah, UFC, I try to get my rocks off of UFC. I can't. It's not the same. So yeah, I did hear rumblings a couple of months ago, maybe a year ago, about them trying to revitalize Fight Night. I've got my fingers crossed. I had my fingers crossed. That was my game, Fight Night. What's this one last year, Dan?
And you put Bulls versus Blazers up there.
Bulls versus Blazers. That's before 2K. I love that.
You mean NBA Live, because this was EA Sports. This is before NBA Live. This is before 2K.
Yes. This is one of the first games that they came out with that started again to compile stats. And it made you really feel like you was controlling every player. Like, Drexler has 27 points after 5 games. Oh, what that's so I love that realism about that game. We used to have a lot of late nights, drinking 40s and playing this game, and wasted a lot of hours on it, man. So yeah, this game to me was.
Is that the one before?
Yes.
No, Lakers.
Celtics were before it.
Yeah.
That's the one with Kyle Chambers used to dunk from the damn
They made so okay. So Lakers versus Celtics. Tom Chambers was the Bo Jackson of that game. Okay, Tom Chambers was
Yeah, he was
Tom
dunked from the
Chambers, Charles Barkley. Yep.
That's a game you had to hit them spots. So you had to go right to the spot, then he would just dunk it no matter what.
Yeah.
He would pile up like 12 people. He was 12 people in the court. He just dunked it through the whole damn thing. He had no hesitation. Once you hit that spot, and you hit that, you ready to shoot that, dunk it, he would just go straight down there and knock it down every time. It wouldn't matter.
I'm looking at that game now. I'm like, I would not touch this game with a damn 10-foot pole, boy.
Dude, it feels so difficult to play that game nowadays compared to back then when that was high technology. Like it's fucking rough.
Bro.
It's rough.
Bro, that game is like the grandfather's league if you watch it now. The speed they move down the court.
Bro, but at that time, it was the best graphics you had ever seen in your life.
Yes, it was. It was mind-blowing. Yeah. It was mind-blowing.
It was like, oh my God, this is so real. Furthest from the truth.
Yeah.
But now, you know what? We're going to move on. But Demetrius, this is what I want you to do instead of leading off the next one. Give me your 5 wrestling games of all time, because that's a series that we didn't put in here.
All right. It will be any Fire Pro era. Those would be my favorite ones. The Fire Pro Wrestling. Then it will come the WCW versus NWO Revenge. The WCW versus NWO. There's a wrestling game I used to have. I don't know where it was from. It was a New Japan wrestling game. I got it from the Japanese PlayStation 1 with the Great Muta and stuff. I think it was New Japan Pro 2. That was an awesome game. All-Star Pro Wrestling game is another Japanese one I used to have. That was awesome. Trying to think what else was. Well, this is another awesome game that you can get that I had. Was a Japanese ladies wrestling game. It was on PlayStation 1 at the time.
Wow.
I forgot what that was called. I got to remember the name of it, but it was a Japanese. I was trying to find it. It's probably in the $100 right now, but it was a Japanese pro wrestling female game, and it had an engine of like the SmackDown games used to have. Like the SmackDown, the old PlayStation SmackDown games. That was an awesome game. And there's the old one like Pro Wrestling. The Pro Wrestling that was on Nintendo, where you could Starman, Amazon.
Oh yeah, Fighter Hayabusa. King Kong Khan.
Yeah, King Kong. There was another one. The Tecmo wrestling game was kind of cool, where you train, you did squats, you had to do a whole bunch of stuff. You ever played that one? That's the old Tecmo wrestling on Nintendo.
Yeah, I didn't like those. I did play them.
Yeah, because it's kind of right now you play it now, you're like it's trash. You can't play it. But the nostalgia of it, just going back and relapsing and playing those games sometimes to try to catch up with it, it was really hard. But the top ones, like I was saying, would probably be the new one is really awesome. It's 2K22. I love that game. That's a great wrestling game. They finally put the work in that. The SmackDown one, the old SmackDown, The Rock on the cover was really good. I'm trying to think what other, but all the Japanese ones are the ones I can. And Virtual Pro Wrestling 2, that was one of my favorite games. It was also the Raw one they made, the WWE, or Raw one they made on Super Nintendo. All those THQ games were awesome.
So I have a question, because I never really. I mean, I was a wrestling fan back in the day, with Stone Cold and The Rock and all that. But later on, not so much. But which games did you prefer? The ones that came out of THQ or the ones that came out of Acclaim?
Oh, THQ, Acclaim was trash. Yeah, Acclaim was trash. There's no doubt about it. THQ games were a lot better. I mean, they had the mechanics down in the system, because the WCW one is really one of my favorite games of all time. The WCW versus the World, or NWO versus the World, whichever one they were. Those are some of the best games I've ever played.
THQ had like George Lucas money behind it, though, right? I mean, that was all like Skywalker Ranch type deals before Skywalker Ranch.
Yeah. I think it was like a Japanese company also, because Ukes is a part of that company.
Okay.
That makes great games. Like they had the Aki Corporation, like I said there, and Ukes, like that Virtual Pro Wrestling right there. It's the same as the other one, but it's an awesome game. It's kind of like the same premise, but just have a million characters on it that you wouldn't use. Like you would have Japanese wrestlers that the Indo and Japan. You know, that's the awesome game.
Nice.
And then they have like a
This-
hack one. I don't know if anybody's seen that. It's like a hack one with all of the old WCW characters. Somebody made a hack one. I don't know where that's on. It's online. You probably can look it up. Where they had like all the WCW characters from back in the day on it that were excluded. Like they have David Arquette on there and a whole bunch of crazy shit like that. And those are some great ones.
Great Sasuke.
That's what's up.
Yeah. They have tons. That's Virtual Pro Wrestling 2 or 1, whatever it may be. They had like Gracie on there and a whole rack of people that are beasts. It's a nice game.
Yeah, I'm gonna go through.
Right now, I was playing
that
that the other day. I was playing that WCW Revenge, and that mechanics are good. And I think that's what the AEW game is going to be about. It's going to have those mechanics. So it's supposed to be a great gameplay.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like just fun, more like arcade style, like this.
Yeah, probably like that Def Jam Vendetta. Remember when they made that? They made that, and then that uses the same thing.
Def Jam Vendetta, man. People used to fight in real life over that game.
Yeah, they use the same engine as the AEW game is supposed to be using. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, so the wrestling games, I would say that would be the Virtual Pro, the Fire Pro, Fire Pro, Z, whichever one they make, Fire Pro. Fire Pro is the most realistic wrestling game you can get, in my opinion. Because that has unlimited characters. And once you get the timing down on that game, it is amazing. When I first played it, I was like, this is crap. Because of the 16-bit graphics or whatever it may be. But once you play that game and you actually get the rhythm down of how it works, man, that is one game. That's got to be. I would say, of all games, wrestling games, that's the most realistic wrestling game you can get.
Word.
All right, so where we going? But you played the Fire Pro.
So are we going role player or side scroller next?
No, let's go role play and get my blurred shit out of the way. So you can
Yo, can we jump in? Yo, it's almost 4 a.m. here, brothers. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Jamal. Go ahead, Jamal.
I gotta get up in a few hours.
Go ahead.
To this real quick. I'm sorry, y'all. So bam, I'm gonna get a couple honorable mentions out the way first. Number one is Castlevania 1, which just lit it off for me. In terms of side scrollers when that came out. Castlevania, of course, led to some incredible sequels, but that first Castlevania will always have a place in my heart. Second one is Golden Axe. From
Sega Genesis, I think.
Genesis with the chick, the knockoff Conan. I can't say chick. It's just the woman. The knockoff Conan. And then the midget with the axe.
Yeah, the midget with the axe was the man.
That's who
wow. So wait. I'm sorry. You can't say chick,
but you
can say midget.
Hell no. It's 4 in the morning, man.
Go ahead, man. Midget with the axe. Go ahead, man.
And then of course I'm gonna throw in Double Dragon in there.
Ooh, Double Dragon was a classic.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start off first with Ikari Warriors, which is the first game I had for NES, 8-bit NES. I got my NES when we first moved to Jersey, and all the white kids in my area had Nintendo. I didn't have one, and I asked my mom for a Nintendo. And mom was like, all the money we just paid to move from Brooklyn to get in this house? No, you ain't getting no Nintendo. So man, for real. So I went out straight up and got a fucking paper route in the middle of winter, man, delivering Trenton Times. And I had no idea what that shit involved. I didn't know that you had to do that shit before school. You know what I mean? So,
wow.
Yeah. So
the dedication was real.
65 houses, fam. I had to deliver papers too. And I saved my little money up, my little $70 for the week. After a month, got me my Nintendo, and Ikari Warriors was the first joint that I bought. So following Ikari Warriors, I got Russian Attack, which was crazy ass game, Cold War era, 8-bit Konami game.
What's funny about this game? Every time the load screen came up, it used to look like it said Russian Alive.
Yep. Russian attack.
Oh, you know that game, right? I didn't know until later on in my life that it was called Rush and Attack.
It was a double
But
entendre play on the time, bro.
Right. It was definitely double. That was the first time I've ever come across a double entendre. That was like, wait a minute.
Straight up.
They knew what they was doing.
Of course, they didn't want to put Russian attack just like that because Japan is right. Russia's right across the water. You know what I mean? Just for no game sales. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And how we pronounce it is straight, like you said, doubles entendre. Like nobody says rush and attack. It's Russian.
No. Russian attack.
Yep. You know, the dude on the cover looked like one of the Russians from what's the 1984 film? Red Dawn. The original
Red Dawn. Wolverines.
As I look at him now,
with the bandana on.
Yep.
He looks more like Dan Severn with a gun.
Yep.
God.
So, Bad Dudes, when that came out, that was like
Love
a graphical
upgrade
to Double Dragon when 8-bit NES started flexing their muscle and packing more graphics and design into the games. So I still thought the gameplay was better on Double Dragon.
It was. I played Bad Dudes yesterday, and that shit still is hard as fuck.
Yeah, so
you play all these games still, man.
Yeah, I had then was Rygar. Rygar, they had that joint in the pizza shop around the corner from the house. The original, and the arcade version is much different than the NES version. But when I got the NES version and played that shit on Christmas Day, opened it up, I was like, man, this ain't the same. But there was something dope about Rygar when that came out. Rygar had a dope ass score, especially for that time period. The music on that game was incredible. And it was a beatable game. It was a game, you beat that in a couple of days, you know what I mean? And then the king of the scrollers, of course, if y'all remember, the cheat code was Contra, and that's spread gun.
And stop right there.
Unlimited ammo.
No, it wasn't unlimited ammo. It was 30 lives. Now, because there was a difference, people, because people try to, they talk like they know it, but always say the wrong one. What was the code for 1 player, then 2 player?
That's some trivia.
I'm not gonna put it out there and
up, down,
it
left, right, AB start.
Up, down, left, right, BA start was for 1 player. And then it was up, down, left, right, BA select start. That's for 2 player.
Wow.
That's what it was. The Konami code. I mean, it's known as the Konami code because that shit, I don't even remember the list of games that it worked under, but it worked for more than just Contra. It was used in a bunch of other different games too. I didn't know all of them, but once with this one, if you was a bad motherfucker, if you could beat this off the 3 lives that it gave you.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Ikari Warriors had a cheat code too, and I can't remember what that shit was. They also had a cheat code. But yeah, that's my joints right there, man. Heavily weighted off of regular NES because that was the introduction for me.
Jamal, I wanna add one. I wanna add one to your list, just like how I added Super Smash Brothers. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, that game was hard as fuck.
That was a very difficult game, man. Yeah. It was a good game that everybody remembered. A very difficult game to beat.
Underwater stage, forget it, man.
Yeah.
Shinobi. How about Shinobi?
Shinobi,
yeah.
Shinobi.
There's so many that got left off this joint. Bionic Commando.
Yeah.
Bionic
Commando.
Yo,
wow.
fuck that game. I was just playing that yesterday also. And the only reason why, if there was any reason to dislike that game, was because it was no jump button. It was just that claw arm.
Yeah.
And one hit, you're dead.
Yeah, man.
It's funny. I never got into that game. I never played that game.
Nah, that was dope. There's so many classic side scrollers from from that whole era.
Dude,
Ninja Gaiden.
Ninja Gaiden was, yeah.
I like that better than Shinobi, but
Ninja
fucking
Gaiden was ridiculous.
Spy Hunter.
Spy Hunter, of course.
Spy Hunter.
Another
Oh,
game.
How about that Kung Fu? Remember that Kung Fu Nintendo?
Kung Fu was dope.
Oh yeah, I play Kung Fu every so often, but Spy Hunter is another one of them games.
Yeah.
I remember exactly where I first. Ian's house was the first place I played that game, and we for hours.
That armored car. Yeah, man. That shit was just some crazy shit. And then if I give one of them off the wall joint scrolling games, I don't know if y'all, if any of y'all had the Commodore 64 and that original Ghostbusters.
Oh, I heard about that. Yes.
Yeah.
Nah, I never played that.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. When you was going around the city just answering alarms for ghosts, that shit was nuts, man. Spy Hunter took a lot from Ghostbusters, actually. But yeah, it was similar in gameplay to Spy Hunter.
Honorable mention to my fighting games was Pit Fighter. Another game exactly I remember the first place where I played it. Shout outs to rest in peace to Jean's Deli. On the way to IS-51 to school. We used to go in there. It used to be the first arcade cabinet right towards the front of the store. Pit Fighter, when you only had 3 people you could fight with. A white guy, an Asian dude, and the buff black dude.
Yeah, man.
That was it.
Just like the joke.
And you fought against fucking gimps with masks with black hoods on.
Yeah, so that kickboxer got tied.
Yeah,
yep.
Sex slaves you was beating up in the underground.
The brothers, I'm gonna peace out from here though, y'all.
Get some sleep, brother.
Shout out.
Yeah, get your sleep, bro.
Man. Demetrius, pleasure having you on.
Right,
thank you so much, man. Wish I could stay longer and chop it up with y'all longer and whatever. But much respect for today's guest, Demetrius, and the rest of y'all, my brothers. Yeah, I'll be back with y'all probably next week, and then we'll chop it up. But y'all be good. I'll talk to you.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Peace to Digable Planets.
Peace to Digable Planets. It's tough.
Cool. All right, so now we on yours, TJ, and then we get.
Yeah. These are all the role playing games I was getting my nerd on early on, and I played a couple of these on PC. Like the first one is Baldur's Gate. That was like a Dungeons and Dragons style game, but you didn't have to build up your characters all crazy and everything like that. You could just roam. One of them games where you could just roam all over the country and get your shit in, which was a lot of fun. And then you could just go through the game without doing all these side missions and shit like that. So that game was a lot of fun. But the RPG, you had to wait for shit to happen. You had to build up your character. You had to get potions if you was a wizard. If you was a warrior, you had to build up your armor and your skill and shit like that. So that game was a lot of fun back then. The second game, Fallout 2, was really good. I liked that game a lot. It was like post-apocalyptic. They dropped a bomb on, nuclear fallout, and like from the opening sequence to every decision you made had a consequence to it. So you had to be very careful with the decisions you made. So that shit was very real, and that's what I liked about it a lot. You would think you would take the easy out, and that shit would burn you every fucking time. So you had to I started this game over like several times. I was like, fuck, I made the wrong decision. I gotta go back and rethink this. It was more like a chess match, you know what I'm saying? You really had to think about it. Sudoku, I don't know how many of y'all played that, but that game was fire as well. Another RPG where you had to build up your character. And that was on PlayStation, where you really had to think about all these games, all these RPGs. If you really didn't think about the decisions you made, you paid for that shit immediately. Like there was no second guessing where you're like, oh, if I do this, I'm gonna get this. No. You had to think 3 or 4 moves ahead. I love those games like that. It was very strategic, super strategic. What's that what's that game on the bottom on the left side of Fallout there, Dan? I can't see it.
The Elder Scroll 2.
Elder Scroll 2. I mean, Elder Scrolls now is a phenomenal game on PS4 or PS5. And that's what you thought about. Your imagination played a lot in these games because you really didn't see the characters fight like the way they do now in these RPGs. So that was one of those games. It's very like Lord of the Rings type style of fighting, and with the characters, with the elves and the hobbits. They didn't call them hobbits back then. I forgot what they called them. But I was a big Lord of the Rings fan back in the day. I saw the Japanese animation of Lord of the Rings back in like 82, 83, and that shit blew my mind. So when Elder Scrolls came out, I really loved that. And the legend of all legends is Final Fantasy VII. And I didn't get into that game. I hated that game. But my brother played this game religiously, 6 to 8 hours a day trying to beat this game. And when he beat it, it was the greatest thing that ever happened to him at that time. That that Final Fantasy VII game was ridiculous because you would call all these powers and the shit would just rain down on you and fuck you up on some other level. You're like, how did you survive that? He's like, he was like, I got like 2% life left. Somebody tossed me a potion. You get the potion toss, the wizard would hit you with some extra shit and you go right back in and start fighting again. It was ridiculous.
Yeah,
but the cutscenes.
I remember when that came out because that one, they made a big deal about it because
it was a big deal.
It revolutionized what role players were at that time.
Yes.
Yes.
And this was one of the first like 60+ hour games that you
hell
had
yeah.
to put in to beat. Which I can tell you now, I didn't fuck with role playing games like that. But I used to sit there and watch my boy Lamar go at it. And like when this came out, like I remember he was like, y'all was up, like after you left, I was up for like another 8 plus 14 hour fucking 16 hour total play. Like, nigga, you crazy. You are nuts.
Yeah. It was that serious, man. And if you didn't save in the right part, you were fucked. Like you had to beat the bosses in that game were stupid, man. The bosses were ridiculous in Final Fantasy to try to beat them. It was always some gigantic shit compared to you and your little squad. And you really had to be strategic about your attack, how you attacked, then fall back, defense, and then go forward again. It was crazy, bro. It was crazy. Final Fantasy was crazy.
Yo, shout out to Final Fantasy. I remember where I was at when I first beat that game. I beat it on a 13-inch TV, yo. I don't know if y'all ever had it. I don't know if y'all ever had a 13-inch television. I was in the but I was in the army. That's all I could afford, bro. So, but that game, Legend of Dragoon. I see you didn't have that on there. Legend of Dragoon. For PS2, the shit took 4 discs. Okay,
what?
So you would beat this. It took 4 discs to beat the game. So it was probably 60+ hours you're talking about, and it was 4 discs because the shit looked like a textbook. How big the damn CD case was. Okay, that game I'm just waiting for them to come out for it on PS5.
Bro,
I swear to you, I'm on
you
it.
realize a 60+ hour game to beat is like months of fucking playing that shit, bro.
I enjoyed it, man.
You know what's funny though?
You
say that, and some people put 60+ hours in a work week. But the difference is it's a paycheck.
right. But you know the crazy shit is you don't realize it. You're like, wait a minute. Like, yo, Assassin's Creed, I'm gonna tell you, Assassin's Creed, not Origins, the one where they was in Rome, yo, that game right there is you're talking about 80 hour game for that game right there. If you want to do all the side missions and all that.
Yeah, getting extra shit. Yeah.
Yes. Skyrim. I see you have Skyrim on your list too. Skyrim is another one.
Skyrim
Man,
was a big one. Yeah.
that was another one that yeah, I didn't beat it because I was like, no, this game was too long. This game was too long.
But see, because now you're getting into like, and we didn't even like bring those up as like lists that we could build, because open world stuff is what you're now getting into. And
Yes.
because
But
role
it's
play
still role playing though, isn't it?
to a
Is it
point,
still
to a point, but not really. To a point, but not really. Because like when I think role playing, I'm thinking to the traditional turn-based game where you had to sit and select and move. Like, I'll keep it real with you. Some didn't really consider it as such, but yet it did play like a role play. Pokemon was the first real role play style game that I got into. And I'm being serious, like dead ass. Like I was rocking red and blue, rocking red and blue like crazy. Like I got to where I bought blue because I hated the color red at the time. But then it was like, oh, you can't get all the Pokemon without playing the other one and transferring them. So I rented red. I got that game down to where I was able to beat it in 2 to 3 days, get all the Pokemon. And then for some reason, my grandmother got a Game Boy, because my grandmother would like to just sit there and play like little video games, little like she would get like the, like almost like the Tiger electronic joints, like, or like poker and shit that. Like my grandmother would play those, but for some reason she got herself a Game Boy. So I bought the transfer cable. I used her Game Boy, transferred all them bitches, and now I had all 151 on my blue cartridge.
Wow.
And but that was the only role play that I actually like. I tried some other ones. I just couldn't do it. Like, because the amount of time consumed to have to play those games and complete them was just insane.
You needed the time.
But graphic wise, look wise, like
it destroyed everything.
They were always amazing. They were always amazing.
It destroyed everything.
They were amazing. They were like mini movies you're sitting there watching.
Yeah, the cutscenes were phenomenal for Final Fantasy.
Yes.
The cutscenes were phenomenal. It was
crazy.
Movie quality type shit, bro.
At the time.
Yes.
But it's shit like that we can't sit back here and say like we can't make those no more, because they made those 10 times, 20 times over into like real theatrical release type video games. But as the promo picture of the show shows you, the famous scene of, hey, where the white women at in Blazing Saddles?
Yeah.
We started the discussion briefly last week. This is where I'm mad Jamal had to go, because this is in his lane, in his world of film and shit like that. But shit that can't be made no more because of the sensitive ass times that we live in now. Now, Demetrius, I mean, we're gonna leave Blazing Saddles out of this because it's just too obvious. Give me something that you think from our era back in the day could not be made today, or characters that could not exist today because of.
All right, let's say. Go ahead. About the toy with Richard Pryor.
Ooh.
Where the white boy gets a birthday wish, and he goes on and gets a black man as his birthday gift. I don't think they're gonna remake that again.
That is so foul. That is so foul.
Let's see what else there is. How about The Jerk with Steve Martin? You think they would make that again?
No, they will never make that again.
It's funny. I don't think I've ever sat through that movie. I always hear about it. I don't think I've ever sat through that.
That's one of the funniest movies you'll ever see, bro. Steve Martin killed that shit.
And there was a movie that they made that never came out. Like, it came out, but they never released it in America, and they would never make it again. It's called White Dog. Have you seen that movie?
No, what's that?
It's a movie about a racist dog.
A racist dog?
Yeah. It's called White Dog. It's about a racist dog. The dog actually was adopted by a black man. I think it was the guy, I can't think of the guy from 227, the black guy that was the landlord.
Oh,
I forgot what his name is. Yeah,
I want to see this.
Yeah, it's a movie. You probably can see it on Netflix or something like that, but it's called White Dog, and it's about a racist dog that attacked black people. It was trained to kill black people and attack black people.
That's
and
horrible.
Somebody actually adopted the dog, and then she was trying to train it not to attack black people anymore.
Wow.
I don't think I'll make that. That might be one they won't make.
I found the movie poster. Poster, and the first image of the dog that came up it made me say, "Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
Me too.
Yeah, I get it. Look at this shit. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. That's the same image as I got.
But then it shows him look like he killed a white man. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. How did you find that one, Demetrius?
Well, I look at a lot of obscure movies, and I look at everything. So trust me, I watch millions of movies, and I go through movies. I used to, my family used to own a video store back in the day, so I watched so many movies.
Oh man, say less.
Yeah. So you can imagine those movies that you've seen.
You saw everything.
I've seen everything.
It says the uncut and unedited masterpiece never before seen in its entirety in the United States of America.
Masterpiece.
White dog trained to kill. Based on a true story where man's best friend becomes his fiercest enemy. Wow.
Wow.
This looks like some fuckery. I'm gonna have to. Oh, actually, shit. I before I close the screen out, I missed one scene image, and it looked pretty peaceful. Oh, he's training it.
He's trying to train it.
Yeah.
Man, I hope they put that dog down after the movie.
There's other movies like Soul Man. You can talk about Soul Man. That's a movie.
Yeah.
Soul Man was horrible. That was a movie in blackface.
I like that
movie.
I like that movie. That shit was, to me, it was funny. To me,
it was funny.
Okay. When did you watch it though? Did you watch it back in the day?
Yes, I watched it when it came out. Yes, and this
Sam Jackson's in that movie.
It's a tough watch.
Oh, I'm sure it might be, but I probably will still laugh at it the same. Because remember, for the people that don't know, Soul Man was a movie where a white kid took suntanning pills, but they ended up taking.
C. Thomas Howell is the white dude's name.
Here you go, and it ended up, and that's a black ass name too. Thomas Howell.
I'm gonna talk he was black.
But he took too many suntan pills and became a black man, and then all of a sudden was living life like a black man. Well, like a white dude, but in a black skin. But I mean, he had the afro and everything, and then it was literally like he couldn't stop taking the suntan pills.
Well, basically, was he wanted to go to college, and he wanted to get it free. So what he did was he actually took the pills and stuff to go to a black college.
Yes.
That was the basis of that story, I think. Something to that effect. That he started taking the damn pills and kind of wig and all that.
Affirmative action at its finest.
and don't forget Ray Dawn Charm was in the movie too. So that was a crossover.
Yeah,
that was a crossover.
Girlfriend. That was his girlfriend in the movie, bro.
It was pre Rachel Dolezal. Shout out.
Yo, on the same strength of Soul Man, a movie that's a lot more recent than that. Tropic Thunder. We talk about this blackface, like we talk about a lot of blackface.
Ben Stiller. No, not Ben Stiller.
We don't talk about not Ben Stiller.
Iron Man. Robert Downey Jr. Yeah, Iron Man.
His role in that movie it's tough for us because we're on that fuck blackface and da da da. But his role in that, I've never heard no one talk bad. He killed it. He killed it, bro. I've never heard no one talk down about his role in that movie.
Because
your man said we don't need no map. I'm the fucking GPS. Your man said we don't need no map. I'm the fucking GPS, bro.
But the line,
he gets a pass.
But the line in that movie was what do you mean, you people?
Yeah, you people.
What do you mean, you people? But nobody, you know why that movie gets a pass is because it was done correctly. And it wasn't done in a belittling way. And
No, it wasn't.
it was done in, as I got a paraphrase of a TikTok I've seen, because this guy eloquently explained why it was not, looked at in the same light. Was because it was done out of satire, number one. But it was done also to show the lengths of some method actors in how far method actors go to live life a certain way to nail a role. But he didn't, but it wasn't done on some chicken and watermelon shucking and jiving type of blackface. It wasn't done that way.
But throughout the whole movie, Dan, they kept reminding him that he wasn't black. That was the key part.
Yeah,
that was
like, you're not black, bro.
Yeah. Again, I wish Jamal was here, man, because this is in Jamal's wheelhouse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
yeah.
What about that?
So he
Watermelon Man. Will they remake that?
No, they will never remake that. I saw that, but I never watched the movie because the title and the cover of the movie, whatever the poster was, I was just turned off for it. I was like, I'm not watching this bullshit.
I've never heard of it.
How about that?
I remember
Mandingo? Is that an old movie, Mandingo? Have you seen that?
Oh, Mandingo. Yeah, I watched that. That movie was horrible.
Yeah.
That was a slavery movie.
Yeah.
That was a slavery movie. I don't think they remake that shit.
What movie was that?
Mandingo.
Oh yeah, nah. They'll make a Mandingo on black.com. if they haven't done it already. If they haven't done it already.
It's called black.com. It's called black.com. That's what it's called.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, wait, I'm gonna Google it later. I'm gonna Google it later and find out.
As I'm alone in my room. But nah,
exactly.
But like real like character shit though. Archie Bunker could not be done today. And how about the exchanges between Archie Bunker and freaking George Jefferson? Hey, rest in peace to both of them, and Sherman Hemsley. The exchanges between them on television could not be done today. Like, you want to talk about calling each other cracker, honky, nigger, and stuff on TV, on network television? No, these millennials.
That's like
never.
That's like when Chevy Chase called Richard Pryor a nigger on Saturday Night Live, bro, and they were doing that whole back and forth shit.
And Richard Pryor got the best of his ass at the end of the day, but
yes, he did.
It was done. See, the difference.
That was crazy.
But also too, the difference in why, besides the ballsiness and the newness of it in that time, context is key in all of this, and people at times refuse to look at the context behind what they're doing when it comes to these things. And now we can look at a lot of this shit that we're talking about now back in the day with a different level of understanding. Like, of course, as we're talking about now, yeah, it wouldn't work today because of how sensitive people are, but we're all Gen Xers here. We are of the era of, we went through that shit, but we built out ways to combat it in argument, for argument's sake. And we, even at that time, in some way, we looked at things contextually, where it was something that was said or done in this space for this moment in time, and that was it. It wasn't we're looking at a Chevy Chase as a racist. You get what I'm saying? Like, nowadays, some people would have say that shit. Like I for instance, like, I don't remember the exact joke, but one of my best friend, my fucking brother, Danny, he's to try to deliver a joke, he said it, and he would like ask me for, like, is this okay? I'm like, yeah, it's fine, because I understood it was just telling to deliver the story and what was being said within it. That was it. That was it. And when we choose to not get to know people a little more nowadays than we did then, like people just kind of take people for face value, and what you get in that moment is what it is, you know, and they'll think of and look at the tone in which you say certain things as, nah, that motherfucker's racist, and automatically you're racist without understanding the context of certain things. Now, there's certain people in certain ways it shouldn't be said by anybody, you know, especially saying nigga, just straight up and down. But we can look at things as Gen Xers differently because we put shit into context. That's all I really try to say is we could put things into context to where, yeah, we know tons of shit could not be made today. Tons of shit like that would not. Most of the 80s could not be made today.
Blame it on Rio. Seen that one?
Which one?
Blame it on Rio.
Blame it on Rio. No, I didn't.
That's an 80s movie, right? I've never seen that.
Yeah, it's about the old guy that has sex with with his best friend's daughter in Rio de Janeiro. I don't think they remake that shit.
Well, especially when you're talking about young people. No.
I think the actor's name is in, but they're never remaking that one because that.
Blame it on Rio. I just wrote it down. I'm gonna see if it's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's called Blame It on Rio, and they will never remake that movie.
Yeah,
based on the premise. Like he went on a trip.
I think that's Michael Caine, right? Michael Caine did that movie, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, shit like that. Like somebody said to me the other day, they said, well, I was thinking, and I had mentioned, like I said, yo, Revenge of the Nerds. Like I had to take a step back and be like, could that be made today? And I was immediately said, nah, Revenge of the Nerds could be made today because of the context of what it was in. It was
Porky's couldn't be.
That's what I was gonna get to next.
Porky's could not be made today, bro.
I was about to say that.
Porky's could not be made today, bro.
Porky's could not be, but Revenge of the Nerds could, because in today's version of Revenge of the Nerds, Lamar would be the star.
Yeah.
You know, and the quote unquote, even though we display our nerdness all over this show today, the nerds are winning. You know, the nerds are winning now. And there's no real belittling them the way they tried to in those movies, though the nerds always won at the end of the day. You know, and so like that would be made. But I was getting to Porky's. Nah, that shit couldn't be made today.
They was the holes and stuff and all that shit they was doing. They can't do that shit now.
Yeah, in the bathroom.
They couldn't. You know, but man, I just want to wrap this up by saying this: you motherfuckers, some of y'all just got to stop being so sensitive. Stop being so fucking sensitive to shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop being sensitive. There's places and times where you need to be sensitive. We have grown up through these eras to where we understand the heightened sense of awareness about just life and stuff in general. It's necessary. It's needed. Respecting others is key to just living a good life. And it's okay to be careful and cautious of what you say to people, around people, shit like that. But if a motherfucker, now again, I'll say it like that dude said it to them Fox reporters. If you want to say nigga, say it. Say it. I dare you. Say it. I dare you. But I'm not suggesting it. But if you are around people and you're not trying to use it to be an asshole, you're saying it to just describe something, or not describe something, but you're telling a story about something, whatever. Just be safe. Be cautious. Be wary of your surroundings if you dare to.
In the immortal words of Prodigy, speak the wrong words, man, and you will get touched.
Don't be a Mother Gaston. Don't be a Mother Gaston. So one nigga this, nigga that.
Right. You know what I'm saying? But like, nah, but I just say that to say, man, is context is key. Context is king in conversation. And just stop being so fucking every little word, we can't say shit no more. You know, we can't, we just went through it with fucking Lizzo and Beyonce changing the whole fucking joint or pulling it because they said the word spaz.
Yeah, that was weird. That was weird.
You know what I'm saying? I'm saying like sensitive.
Yo, Ralph Tresvant.
Sensitivity.
Very Ralph. Very Ralph Tresvant with it. Stop being so fucking sensitive. But yo, we done. This was fun. Shout out to DJ Hannibal Royce. I told him when we was going on, he's like, yeah, cool, but then didn't come through. But we definitely gonna get that brother on this show because he was excited when I first gave him the invite to come on, man. Because I definitely wanted to talk to that brother about his fucking Mugen builds. Because if y'all haven't seen already, man, like he's been killing it, making fucking Timberlands, Black Air Force Ones, fucking Drake, Cardi B's, all in the fighting game.
Did they make great Kool-Aid yet?
I think he did that, something like that. But he's done he's done some ill shit in the Mugen world, which is
I played that thing, man. But that thing is crazy. I had a whale with a pound like a pound of water, and all you had to do is run bad thing and jump out, and the damn whale will come out and eat the whole thing. Every time I played, I had a whale walk around the puddle of water. Woo, you come out there and swallow you whole. KO. I was like, damn.
You can't even come back from that.
I gotta try that. I gotta try that shit, because that shit's been all over the place, man.
Yeah, they have like Super Sub-Zero and shit on there, and shooting ice balls all everywhere. You couldn't even block it. I don't even know what was the purpose. You just
It's like that. It's like the old school. It's like, remember when that Super Cheese Street Fighter 2 came out? It wasn't called that, but what was made it cheese was like you could use Ryu and throw the fireball, but he threw a double fireball that crisscrossed like this. No,
you can't even jump that shit. Then.
No, I think Ken threw the one that crisscrossed. Ryu threw the one where he would throw the one.
It was like
he was able to jump. He was able to jump, throw one, jump, throw one, jump, throw one, and build a wall like this. And what happened was the player went through the screen, would come back up and went through. It was easily beatable because all you had to do was wait out the bottom row, come out underneath, and then get over the top and beat them up. But that's what that shit reminds me of, man. But I was trying to get to. We're done. Demetrius, thanks for coming through. You're more than welcome at any other time to come through. You got my number. You know, you could text me at any time, whatever, man. But you get the first round of shout outs.
All right, I just want to thank you guys for inviting me onto the show. It's a blessing. And you guys look out for the shit I'm going to bring out. There's going to be a whole bunch of crazy characters coming soon. I might even put OJ on the bitch. I don't know. Johnny Crockett. So you never know. If I get Farrakhan coming out there, you don't know yet. So it's going to be popping. So put anybody on there. If anybody has any requests, just hit me up on TikTok as Lord Demetrius. Let me know what you want, what you need, and I will try to create it or do whatever I can do, trying to make this game fun to do. I will be creating a 2K account to upload these characters, but once I perfect it to the max that I want to be, they will all be uploaded, certain ones, whichever ones that I feel that are the best looking and the best move sets, and they are fresh. I will put those on there. Like I said, thanks everybody. And I want to shout out to one guy, this guy on TikTok. You should look up his name is Elliot. He's in my bio. I don't know his name I have right now, but he's the one that helped me with this TikTok thing because I never used it before. And he has some great creations of all hip hop people, like a Def Jam Vendetta, new one coming out. And he's real beast at his creations. And I took an inspiration from him, and he was the one to help me along the way on what to use and how to do this TikTok thing. So, shout out to him, and shout out to you, man. Thanks for allowing me to be on this platform, and you guys have a great day and enjoy the rest of your night, day, wherever it might be at this moment of where you're at. All right, and cool, man. Thanks.
Word, you ain't got to run just yet, but you know what I'm saying. But if you do OJ, you got to do the small glove.
Yeah.
You gotta do the glove that don't fit, or you gotta do OJ who OJ and his goons who went to go rob his stuff back.
I was
that's
I
like,
was gonna say the white Bronco. You got to put the white Bronco in there somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, no. I could put a white Bronco like by a sticker or something, but
Yeah.
that might work out like that. But it's gonna come. Yeah, I gotta make Johnny Cochran. That's gonna happen. So
That's dope.
it's gonna come on the screen one of these days. Maybe tonight. Who knows? But we're gonna get it.
Oh.
All right, y'all. Yo, big shout out to everyone that reached out for me on my birthday, man. Calls, texts, emails. I appreciate the love. Big shout out to those who decided to come on the show, to support the show and watch. I reached out to a lot of y'all. I know a lot of y'all would enjoy it. Wasn't just about sports today. This is about another one of my loves, another one of our loves. And I know y'all would enjoy it. And again, man, shout out to Lawrence, shout out to Parkchester, shout out to my brothers on the show, TJ, Dan, my boy Jamal, halfway across the world. And that's pretty much it, man. It's love, man. I can't wait to do this again next week.
Word up.
Word.
Shout out to Demetrius. Thanks for coming on the show, man. Yo, I guess I'm gonna have to get the TikTok account. You guys are forcing my hand. I just don't want more apps. I'm tired of apps in my life, but you know what? I'm slowly coming around on it. Yo, shout out to what you do, and thanks again for coming on the show. Shout out to Jamal, who's on the other side of the world, coming on at 2:00 in the morning to be with us today. That was dope. Big O, Dan, another great show. Thank you guys, and this was fun. This was a lot of fun, and like you said, Dan, earlier, behind the scenes on the previous shows, all these shows we need to keep in this lane. This is a lot of fun. I like doing shows like this.
Yeah, word. And we got to come up with the next one in the nerd geeky based world because J1 Con is coming up in only 2 weeks, y'all. It's coming up in 2 weeks. So please .com, get your tickets. $40 for the entire week at J1 Con going down at the Showboat Hotel in Atlantic City, New Jersey. It's going to be a lot of fun. Again, we're hosting the Blackfinity Gauntlet. This year is not going to be your normal panel discussion and all that. Sunday is going to be the day of fun where I think we're going to have what I'm calling a fan fight, where we're going to pick teams, right? And then what it's going to be is it's going to simply be, pick a name out of a hat or pick a name out of a bowl or something.
It better not be Kevin McAllister versus Predator. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Now. It better not be that, bro. It better not be that, bro. I'm flipping tables, bro.
But what you said right there is pretty much going to be it. It's going to be like a pick a name out of the hat thing, and it could end up being like a Kevin McAllister versus Predator. And whoever you pick, you have to argue for why that person would win or why that person is better.
Ask Lord Demetrius this question. I don't know if he
just
knows
go
about
right
it.
ahead. Yeah, I'm sure you've seen the question before we run. Kevin McAllister versus Predator, who wins?
We're doing this again,
fight?
okay?
Home Alone, Kevin. Thank you. That's all you need to say, bro. Don't even explain anymore. You don't even need to go into it any depth. That's all you need to say. Thank you, bro. You're one of us. You're one of us.
Okay, so can I say something? Can I say something? We're gonna end the show. We're gonna end the show off of this, right?
Yes, we will.
So, Kevin McAllister, right? To ask the question of Kevin McAllister versus Predator, you're by you doing that, you're already shitting on the 18 and you're shitting on MacGyver, right? Because this is a child.
No, you're not.
No. Hear me out. This is a child all right, that beat some bumbling fools with paint cans and tacks. MacGyver, all right, went through seasons. MacGyver had like 7 seasons and a remake. All right, doing the same thing that this kid is doing. Same thing with A-Team. A-Team was building shit, whatever the case is.
A-Team ain't no nobody.
Say again?
Everybody at A-Team survived. They jumped down at the back of the car when the car flipped over. Every scene they was out the car with they got hurt.
Hey. Demetrius, don't
You're speaking too much.
Don't sit here.
Demetrius, you're speaking too much logic. You speak too much logic right now, Demetrius.
Don't sit here and try to ruin my childhood.
I ain't getting on no plane.
What's orange juice?
Meanwhile, a plane with like mad missiles is what's going to take to beat the Predator. That's what it's going to come down to. Bro, the logic and the theories behind these people arguing for Kevin McAllister to beat the Predator. I was like, you talking paint cans and a VCR tape, bro. That's not going to get it done. It's not going to get it done, bro. It's not. Just stop. Just stop talking.
Yo.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Yo, that was fun.
But on that note, no more long talking. We out. Peace. See you next week.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Peace.